Okay everybody, this is mooneydashcam. Today we're going to be talking about Michael Meldish, a Lucchese gangster that was the leader of the Purple Gang, who ran the drug trade in the Bronx and Harlem, and was a really ruthless killer back in the 70s and 80s. And his brother was even more of a ruthless killer. His brother's name was Joseph Meldish, and he is suspected of killing 70 people, all contract killings, which is a ridiculous number. He was convicted in 1999, sentenced to 25 to life for a murder, or he was convicted for a murder from 1999, sentenced to 25 to life. The address that we're going to where Michael Meldish was shot and killed in his car is 1212 Ellsworth Avenue in the Throgs section of the Bronx. So we're right by the Throgs Bridge. He was killed on November 15th, 2013 in his Lincoln LS, pretty much right outside his home, right on the corner. I'll bring you to the exact spot, of course, like I always do. These roads are tight out here. So some of this information I got was from the Vlad TV interview of Frankie Pasquale. I'm sure many of you have seen that if you're interested in this mob stuff, because this has kind of been recent mob news, this Michael Meldish murder. Even though it happened back then, Okay everybody, this is mooneydashcam, and today we are covering the Michael Meldish murder. Well, that sounds good. He was a Lucchese gangster. Okay everybody, today we are covering the Michael Meldish murder. He was a Lucchese gangster and leader of the Purple Gang that ran drug trade in the Bronx and Harlem. So, big money maker and a ruthless killer. Him and his brother's name was Joseph Meldish. His brother is suspected to have carried out 70 contract killings. He was convicted of a 1999 murder and sentenced to 25 years to life, so he's off the streets. Michael Meldish is suspected to have killed about 10 people from the 70s to the 80s. So, not two dudes that you can really mess with, and they ran the area. They did a lot of dirty work for the Lucchese's, the Genovese, and the Bananos. And the reason why he was killed, there's two reasons that people say. One was that he owed a $100,000 gambling debt to the acting boss, Matthew Madonna, however you want to pronounce that. And then one was that he did street collections for Matthew Madonna of $100,000, and he's supposed to get a certain cut of that, and he took more of a cut than the boss wanted him to take. So he said in front of other people that he was going to kill him, that he was a dead man, so he kind of had to follow through, being the boss, that he would kill him. So on November 15th, 2013, he sends two dudes, Christopher Londonio and Terrence Caldwell, to go get him. So Terrence Caldwell is the one that actually pulled the trigger. It was a 22 to the back of the head. He shot him. And I believe Frankie Pasqua and his father were there. That's what he says. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's what he said. So they're there. And yeah, walks up behind him under the guise that they were going to sell him, give him 100 grams of dope so he could test it and see if he wanted to sell it. And that's obviously not really why they were there. They were there just to kill him. And they left his body on the corner just to be found. Now the main four that were convicted in this case were Matthew Madonna, the boss, Stephen Crea, the underboss at the time, Christopher Londonio, and Terrence Caldwell. They were all charged with fraud, extortion, and murder. All pleaded guilty. It was actually the 6-year anniversary of his death. And they all got mandatory life in prison, which is kind of crazy. Now this Honda Civic, right here, it's a little dark right there. That Honda Civic is exactly where the car was. I'll add all the pictures, of course. So right here is 1212 Ellsworth. That was his house, Michael Meldish. All right, so walking over here, pretty much exactly where this Honda Civic is where his Lincoln LS was parked. Door open, and he was dead inside. They said his head was black, blood was coming out of his ears. And just to put in perspective how ruthless and crazy the Purple Gang was, authorities actually thought back in the day that they would become the 6th family and cause a giant mob war. Eventually, too many of them got arrested, and that didn't end up happening. But yeah, right exactly here where this Civic was is where this all took place. I guess they were sitting in the car and the dude sat behind him and shot him in the back of the head. I don't know how else you'd shoot someone in the back of the head in a car. It's a quiet little town in the Bronx. Not really what you'd expect. Now, what Frankie Pasqua's father believed really did them in is Chris Londonio called the boss right after it was done and had a 2-minute conversation, and that kind of led them to believe that the Lucchese's did it. It was their own guy they killed. These are all Lucchese members. Killed Michael Meldish, who was a Lucchese. And they were trying to push it off and kind of make it seem like the Bananos did it, but that call kind of sealed it that they did it. And 15 other people pleaded guilty in this case. So it was a big case. A lot of people got wrapped up in this. Kind of for something dumb. They didn't really need to kill this guy over it. You can't get away with murder like you could back in the day. These mobsters, I don't know why they kill anyone anymore. It always ends terribly for them. I mean, the boss was in his 80s when he gets put away now for the rest of his life. What are you doing? You're 80. Live out the rest of your life. Alright, that is pretty much everything I have to tell you about this murder. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one.